Hello, welcome to Life Path, a show about positive happenings and productive people. I'm Dr. Melissa Brown, your host. And today, with me, we have a very special guest. His name is Aubrey Stone. Welcome, Aubrey.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Aubrey is the president and CEO of the California Black Chamber of Commerce, and he has a varied history and a wonderful organization. Tell us a little bit more about the California Black Chamber of Commerce.
Real quickly, back in '93, we felt there was a need for a umbrella organization over the state of California because it's so big and diverse. And 6 chambers got together, formed the California Black Chamber, selected me to be the president and CEO. Now we have 24 affiliates across the state: Inland Empire, Central Coast, San Fernando Valley, all over the state, all of Santa Rosa, San Francisco, everywhere. So it's a movement.
It's certainly a movement.
It's a movement.
24 affiliates. Does it focus on business only, or does it do other types of activities?
Well, business is a segment of a community. So the overall arching goal and objective is community economic development, which leads to community economic sustainability. And business obviously will have an opportunity to prosper within that environment.
So business development, business prosperity, among other things.
Yeah.
Now I understand one of those other things is you have an upcoming event by the name of the African American Leadership Conference. When will that take place?
Well, that's taking place right here in Sacramento. It's an annual thing. This is our 12th annual. And it will be next weekend, next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the 29th, 30th, and 31st of March at the Doubletree Hotel on Arden Way.
In Sacramento, California?
In Sacramento, yes.
And March 29th, 30th, and 31st, it's a 3-day African American Leadership Summit. Who is invited to participate?
All the names and people, movers and shakers in the state of California and out, I might add. But we chose to do something that was unique and different this year. And I think in a later segment you'll have this dynamic young lady on the set. But we chose to partner with the California Black Health Network this year. And purposely, because within our segment of subjects that we cover health and wellness. So we just took that out of our segment, and then we put that segment on steroids and gave it an entire day with emphasis on the Obama healthcare plan. The
Obama healthcare plan. So that will be one of the features highlighted at the
and that's going to be all day
summit.
On Thursday.
All day on Thursday.
Yes.
So what are some of the other highlights of the event?
Well, everything it covers, it runs the gamut from those issues that we consider to be barriers that stop us from achieving the prosperity we deserve as a people and as a community. Obviously, creating wealth is critical because it drives the ship in a lot of ways. But concurrent with wealth is education. We're definitely not happy, and I'm sure, Dr. Brown, you can elaborate on that on another segment. You probably have. That we've got much effort to put forward in the education arena in order to make our young adults, young kids, competitive in a 21st century that's going to be highly technical. And they're going to have to fend for themselves. Obviously, you understand there's no affirmative action. And so, I mean, they're going to have to get out there and swim with the sharks. So we've got to get them ready. And we've got to break down these stereotypes and these barriers that prevent them from being high achievers. We've got to reduce crime. Crime is a segment. We've got to reduce our incarceration. We've got to reduce the recidivism. And we've got to find some meaningful things for these young adults, men and women, to do so that they become productive citizens of the community and pay taxes and help pay my Social Security and do all those kind of things. And then obviously we're talking about housing. I think anyone that said they understand the current situation in housing now, I think would be a slight exaggeration. Modifications, readdressing loans, foreclosures, the whole gamut. What do I do? How do I keep my credit up? It's going to be a very intensive series of activities, and we got plenty of more too.
Yeah, so you have 3 days, wellness, health, education, housing affordability, just a myriad of topics will be discussed by professionals.
Absolutely.
Who are some of the big names that you will have there?
Well, You know, one of the things that I'm very excited about, we have a unique community in that we're here in the state of California, and it's probably only one person in the whole country that has a platform similar to our Mayor Kevin Johnson. That's the brother out of New Jersey in Newark. Mm-hmm. And to have the mayor come down off that perch, that mayoral perch, and reach down into the community and says, I want to make a difference. It would be totally ridiculous for me to be mayor for any amount of years in the city of Sacramento and not have an impact on the community. And we formed a group called Indivisible. We meet monthly, mm-hmm. and he's going to be the platform speaker. He's going to tell about Indivisible in depth as a luncheon speaker and award recipient on Friday. And of course, he has a very strong platform on education. So the Friday speaker obviously is our Mayor Johnson. Yes. And that's going to be exciting. And then of course we have Mr. John Bryan coming in from Atlanta. And John runs an international organization called Operation Hope. Operation Hope was started in Los Angeles right after the Rodney King riots. It has gone global. The people this guy associates with, from Bill Clinton to the Bushes to Obamas, is just unbelievable. And he's going to be right here in Sacramento.
That is just absolutely fabulous. Mr. Bryant has a wonderful reputation, and he provides social services across the board. Absolutely. From financial education to actually helping people with their housing.
Entrepreneurial development also.
Entrepreneurial development and the entire works.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to learn more about the African American Summit in just a moment. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
So, can you tell me what kind of experience you might have that qualifies you for this position?
Yes, I can.
We are here today with Aubrey Stone, the President and CEO of the California Chamber, and we were talking about the African American Leadership Summit that's coming up March the 29th, 30th, and 31st here in Sacramento. Aubrey, you were just describing some of the wonderful people that are going to be there. You've told us about some of the topics that will be discussed. Why should someone come to this event?
Well, before I answer that, and don't let me forget, but if that's not enough, then we're going into being a part of the political process. And I can't think of anything that's more critical, especially in an election year, is helping our people understand what it means to be part of the political process. You know, starting a PAC, managing a PAC, giving money to candidates, things like that, that people, other communities have been doing for years and getting the benefits of that.
So you're really talking about advocacy.
Advocacy, absolutely, advocacy, and so that whole political process. Then, you know, we're going to have a session on technology. Are we up to speed? Cloud, the whole 9 yards, all the gadgets, all the social media.
So do you believe there is a digital divide?
Not so much. I think that even dinosaurs like myself are finally coming around on board, Facebook, Twitter,
learning how to push those buttons,
etc. Yeah, but not to the point where we're really utilizing it to galvanize our community.
And what about to develop our businesses?
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Finding leaner and smarter ways to market, to indicate our products and services to the people out in the public sector, so that they know what we have and we can increase our business, which leads to a more sustainable community.
Exactly.
That's more economically sound. And then follow that by a part that I think is extremely critical Saturday morning, and 2 parts on Saturday morning, on the role of the church in our economic platform.
Oh, very interesting.
Pastor Shelby of the Amen Group, Sacramento, a dynamic young brother, is going to be the platform speaker on the role of the church. and how they can interface with the chambers of commerce, the urban leagues, the NAACPs, and form a network moving in the same direction to empower our community. And then
how do you define empowerment?
Being self-reliant.
Being self-reliant.
Being self-reliant.
So that
obviously
the church,
not
the
being
business
racist.
development
Yeah,
agencies,
and the social and civic requirements, and just bringing all those components together and moving in tandem towards an
and
established
the key word
goal.
is in tandem, in
In
terms
tandem,
of
yeah.
working together to peel off little elements that we can actually come up with viable solutions.
Absolutely.
Right? That's going to be an exciting dialogue.
Yeah, and then following that up with a gentleman who's on our radio show on a weekly basis, calls his name Bio Bro.
Bio brother.
Bruh. Yeah. And,
Bio bro.
He's trying to make us understand the power of changing our communities green, making them green, doing green, going green, and understanding that that's what the president wants. So it's like a general in the military. When the general says, this is what I want, it would seem that everybody would fall in step and say, this is what the president wants. So if the president gets reelected, he is definitely going green, and we need to be on the front end of that. Where are the business opportunities and what we can do to green our lives and our communities.
And going green is not an environmentally bad thing. It's a wonderful thing to do for our own legacy and for the young people who are coming up in this new modern high-tech world. So going green is absolutely fabulous. So you're going to have a variety of topics that you're going to be discussing. You're going to come up with an action agenda of some sort?
Oh, absolutely. It's got every session leads with an action plan.
And then how will that be followed up upon?
With us and through our staff and monitoring each one of those individual segments all around the state to see what people are going back to came from San Diego, from Inland Empire, from the San Fernando Valley, from Fresno, Stockton, the Bay Area.
Please attend the African American Leadership Summit, March 29th, 30th, and 31st at the Doubletree. At the
Doubletree Arden Way.
On Arden Way in Sacramento. And how does one enroll?
Easily. You can go to our website, www.calbcc.org, or you can just simply call us on our line, 916-463-0177.
So that's 916-463-0177. We'll be back with more about the African American Leadership Summit and the California Black Health Network in just a moment. Stay tuned.
When you play hockey, you play more than just a game. Hockey gets your legs moving and your heart pumping, builds lean muscle, and it keeps you fit. Plus, it's fun to play no matter who you are or where you are. So let's move. Let's skate, shoot, and score. Let's build confidence. Let's eat better so we have the energy we need to play. Let's create friendships and become part of the team. Just go to letsmove.gov to learn more.
Welcome back to Life Path, a show about positive happenings and productive people. We've been talking about the African American Leadership Summit, which will take place here in Sacramento on March 29th, 30th, and 31st. On this portion of the show, we're going to introduce a new addition to the African American Leadership Summit, and that's the California Black Health Network. With us today, we have Darcel Lee, and Darcel is the Executive Director of the California Black Health Network. Welcome.
Thank you. So happy to be here, Dr. Johnson.
Good. Tell us a little bit about what the California Black Health Network does.
We are actually an organization that's been around for over 30 years, and we recently reorganized because we wanted to focus on policy and advocacy on behalf of African American health in the state of California. So since about October of 2010, we've moved our offices. We are based here in Sacramento, and we do a lot of following of policy, legislation, and advocacy on behalf of African American health.
So what are your primary focuses now?
Well, you know, we look at the disease and disparities in the African American community, and of course we focus on elimination of disparities, but we are particularly interested right now in health reform and the Affordable Care Act.
The Affordable Care Act that was introduced by Obama.
That's correct.
So that was introduced how long ago?
You know, it was introduced 2 years ago. We're celebrating its anniversary on March 23rd, which
Already?
is tomorrow. Yes.
Wow.
And what's so interesting is it's not just California Black Health Network that's celebrating.
Yes.
There are organizations throughout the state that are having activities beginning tomorrow and for the next week or so to celebrate its passage. The Asian Pacific Islanders are celebrating, the Latino Coalition for a Healthy California is celebrating, and of course we are, and we're celebrating by having this conference in conjunction with the California Black Chamber of Commerce, and we really applaud them because they do have a health initiative, and so it just makes sense for us to collaborate and come together as partners to talk about the health needs of the African American community.
So, Darcel, let's stop for a minute. What are the primary issues, items, events that everyone's celebrating?
We're celebrating the fact that the Act is working, that it has.
And how is it working?
There have been so many accomplishments, Dr. Johnson, since it passed. You know, the ACA, as it's called,
Yes.
is one of the most sweeping pieces of legislation in history, other than Social Security and Medicare. And the reforms that have been implemented are working for everyone. We have over 4 million people in this country that now have health insurance that didn't have it before.
That didn't have it before.
That's
4
right.
million.
4 million.
And just a little over a year and a half.
That's right. That's right. And more to come. There are about 4 million small businesses that will benefit from tax credits. And that's one thing we're going to talk about at the conference.
For providing health care.
For providing health care. That's right. Affordable health care for their employees. And this will result in more money that they can spend on hiring more people.
So
or
at the
on their
conference that's
businesses.
coming up, you're going to show small businesses how to take advantage of those health care
Absolutely.
tax credits.
That's correct. That's correct. Because these are aspects of the Act that many people don't understand and don't know about. 2.5 million people now have are staying on their parents' insurance plans.
Yes.
If they're between 19 and 26 years old. That didn't happen before. We have about 250,000 people right here in California
Yes.
that now have health insurance under the LIPS program, that's low-income health plans.
Who didn't have it before?
That didn't have it before, and that's
Amazing.
across 47 counties in California. So there are lots of aspects of this act that are in place now that are working, and more that will come January of 2014.
So what's amazing is that so many aspects of this healthcare act are working, but
Yes.
very few people know the details or the inner workings of how they can take advantage of it.
That's right, and that's our job, but it is also the job of many of us in the advocacy world to help educate, outreach, and help people understand. I have to say that the California Endowment has funded us to help be a voice in the African American community. They'd like us to be the voice to help educate our communities, and they're going to be present at our conference
Wonderful.
on Thursday. Dr. Ross himself, the president of the endowment, is one of our speakers, and he's going to talk a little bit about his role because he serves on what's called the Health Benefit Exchange, and that is the structure that will function as the marketplace for those who didn't have insurance and who will now have insurance. They can go there and shop for their insurance.
Well, that's a masterful compliment, not only to you, but to Dr. Ross and the California Endowment. It's one of the largest health care foundations in the United States.
That's right. That's
so
right.
we're going to talk more about what will be discussed at the upcoming African American Leadership Summit in just a moment. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I like Nike because everybody wear it.
I like jewelry because I want people to think I have money.
I like wearing snapbacks because I want to look like everyone else.
I like Nike, but I also play basketball. I also score 16 points a game. Nike didn't help me do that. Hard work and dedication did.
But it doesn't shine as much as my mother's smile when I do something positive.
I like wearing snapbacks, but it doesn't fit as well as my graduation cap does.
Thanks for joining us. If you've just tuned in, you're watching Life Path. We're going to continue our discussion about the California Black Health Network with Ms. Darcel Lee.
Thank you.
Darcel, the date again for your particular seminar at the African American Leadership Conference is March the
29th.
29th.
That's
That's the
Thursday.
Thursday. The entire conference is March the 29th
Through the 31st.
through the 31st.
On Saturday.
So you will open on Thursday. You will have Dr. Ross there from the California Endowment, one of the largest healthcare foundations in the United States. and they're going to be talking about a variety of healthcare issues, how to access different components of the Affordable Care Act, and what else?
Oh, we have so much going on that day, Dr. Brown. I'm really excited about it. We are going to have a panel, and we're very grateful to Mr. Stone because he's agreed to serve on the panel and to talk about the Chamber's Health Initiative. We're also going to have the chairman of our board, Calvin Freeman, who is an icon in healthcare in the state of California. He used to run the Department of Multicultural Health here.
Ah. He'll
He'll be on the panel. And then we have Policy Link, Mildred Thompson from Policy Link, who will also be there, and the executive director of the new Health Benefit Exchange, who's going to be there. And that panel is going to talk about why an Affordable Care Act. Why should we care? What is it? What does it mean to us in this country and as African Americans?
Will they also be talking about healthcare access and how people who are currently underserved can get the services that they need?
We sure are. Dr. Rodney Hood is coming in from San Diego, and Dr. Hood was the president of the National Medical Association. He's a physician based in San Diego, and his theme is disparities and access and what it means in California to now have this act and how it's going to lessen the gap for African Americans in this country. And then we have Dr. Eric Walsh, who is the public officer for health in Pasadena, California. And he also has been very involved in the ACA and is a proponent of it. And we'll talk a little bit about what it means to public health to have the ACA. We also have a panel that's going to break down the components and put it in lay language so people understand what it means.
How to do it, what to take. Now, one question that I have for, I'm sure the audience wants to know too, is this summit seminar open to everyone?
Absolutely. We would like to fill the room with people. We want everyone to know what this is, what it means, celebrate its passage. We also want to provide information that will allow them to be better informed and more knowledgeable so that they can then go out and help to train others. We're asking faith-based entities to participate, social networks, even nonprofit associations, advocates to come, because we want everybody to become an advocate for this act. As you know, it's being heard before the Supreme Court next week. And the conservatives have challenged this act time and time again. This is a major hearing, and lots of people are traveling to Washington to see what's going to happen with the 3-day hearing and to testify in favor of the act. So we're hoping that this is going to turn out to be favorable for all of us, and that once it's over, people will know ACA is here to stay and health reform is on its way.
Well, the discussion at the African American Leadership Summit will no doubt be very lively, and we encourage you all to attend. But before we wrap up this segment, what, in your opinion, are the top 2 health challenges facing African Americans and Americans in general?
That's a good question. For African Americans, I think health coverage, access and health coverage is still a major issue because we have millions of people who don't have any insurance at all, and so they don't go and get health care. And prevention is certainly a key component of the act. The other one is, I would say diabetes is probably one of our highest, most high-risk diseases in our community. And that's something that we address in the network.
Yes.
And hypertension is another.
Diabetes and hypertension. What are some of the actions that people can take in order to deal with either diabetes or hypertension?
I'm glad you asked that question because that is something else we're going to be talking about in one component of the conference. Exercise and diet are the primary ways to help eliminate diabetes, well, at least to manage diabetes and hypertension, and sometimes to eliminate it. I'm a victim of hypertension, and I found that in changing my diet and getting more exercise, my numbers have gotten much, much better. Same thing with diabetes. We have to learn to eat more healthy. In our communities, oftentimes you don't have access to healthy fruits and vegetables. You don't have access to safe areas to exercise in or for children to play in. So all of those are policy issues that we are addressing as the Black Health Network.
But there are things that can be done in the home as well. Let's take exercise, for example.
Absolutely.
How many hours should one exercise per week for?
At least 3 hours a week. We should try to give ourselves 3 days a week where we're doing something physical. If you can walk some every day, that's good too. Looking at shopping around the outsides of the supermarket instead
Yes.
of in the middle, so that you're looking at the fresh fruits and vegetables. Those are things we can do in the home. Changing the way we cook and what we cook with
Yes.
can make a difference as
Using
well.
less fatty materials.
Absolutely, yeah.
Exactly.
And you know, simple walks after a meal instead of being a couch potato or looking at TV so much. That can help too. Just
Dancing to
simple.
music in the home.
Dancing to music, yes, that's right. Getting out and doing some things that are physical. Our staff is now walking around the Capitol.
Nice.
So that instead of eating at lunchtime or just eating at lunchtime, but walking around the Capitol in the middle of the day. So there are easy ways that you can enjoy exercise, and we certainly support Mrs. Obama's Let's Move program. So we're trying to do that ourselves.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to be right back after the commercial break. Stay tuned.
When you play hockey, you play more than just a game. Hockey gets your legs moving and your heart pumping, builds lean muscle, and it keeps you fit. Plus, it's fun to play no matter who you are or where you are. So let's move. Let's skate, shoot, and score. Let's build confidence. Let's eat better so we have the energy we need to play. Let's create friendships and become part of the team. Just go to letsmove.gov to learn more.
Our world is rich in cultural diversity, in the things we value, the patterns we make, the songs we sing. But we all share the same good earth. The air, the water, the land, the treasures of generations past. In fact, the more we travel, the clearer it becomes. There are many cultures, a single planet, and an urgent need to cherish both.
Well, that's all for now. We hope that you'll join us next time. And until next time, stay tuned and be grateful for that positive and productive life path that you're following.